What's up, boys? How's it going? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. And looks like this is, I don't know how far this is down. 1.232. Holy crap. Somebody just sold it down to 1.096. That's for PHEX too. This guy, I'm guessing somebody just sold a bunch down because I haven't been watching for the last 20 minutes. And let's see. Let's go to Hex alerts. Or whale Hex. All right, this guy, somebody just bought 14.3 million. 28 million right here. 28 million. All right, let's check their wallet. Let's see how much they got. All right, let's see the bank. Let's see what they're doing with it. Looks like they just went straight into DAI. Okay, so they brought the wrapped Bitcoin fork. They got into some other things, and there you go. Yep, looks like sold it all for DAI. So there you go. They don't have any left though. We can check and see how much they have if they have any stakes left. I'm sure that this was like a stake that just came out or something. Let's see it. Let's see. $2.7 million. Let's see. They got liquid PHEX. They got $700,000 still. Oh yeah, this guy's got a big old baggie. All right, liquid PX. He's got 56,000 or 56 million. He's got 100 million staked. And let's see, when's the next stake come out? All right, 38 days, 65 days. These are only, let's see, 9 million, 13 million. Okay, so he's got a pretty big bag. But I mean, he's got to spread out for the next 2 months. All right, well, I wonder if this takes into account his new stuff that he just sold. Like it. Yep. All right. Well, we got a dumper boy. We got Mr. Dumper. All right. That sucks. That's all right. That's all right. All right. Let's see. Jeet chain. Yeah. Detective Hex, I'm on the duty. Poor guy sold the bottom. Yeah. Do I have your attention now? Good. I thought so. Good. I thought so. Yeah. Do I have your attention now? Do I have your attention? Good. I thought so. Staking to blame. Yeah, I restaked my end stake. All right. Feels like Pulse soy with all these G. Well, the thing is people are. This is what's going to happen. I think that this is the end of the shaking of the tree. Welcome to Copium Central. Would you like a dose? You get 2 doses when you come to this channel. But here's what I'm thinking. Richard staked all this. So all these guys that were doing exactly what this guy is doing, 38 days, 65 days, 92 days, 112 days. Look, he was just trying to game the system, not game it, right? He was doing 90-day stakes right here, 133 days, 159, 171, 220. He was doing like a staking ladder that's pretty small within a year. And he was just rolling, he was just living off of the yield, right? Now, when it comes to where he can't make a living off of this yield anymore, he goes, well, all right, well, I'm going to sell now. He goes, now I have to because, this thing was making me $5,000 a month. I mean, this guy's got 244 T-shares. Let's take one of the bigger ones. Let's say 25 million. Xcal. All right, he had 25 million. 1, 2, 3. 3, all right, one more 0, and he was staking it for, let's see how long that stake was. Where's the 25 million? There it is. So it was 159 days long. So let's calculate it. This guy was making $3,000 off of that stake. He was making $3,000 off of each one of those stakes that he pretty much had staked, right? Oh, and this is at the T-share rate that we're at now. Let's say we were at 7, like we were at before, 7.8. Now let's update it. Look how much he was making off of this. $12,000, guys. He was making $12,000 every, 2.5 months, or let's say 160 days is like a half a year. We'll just say a half a year. So he was doing 6 month stakes. And that's not bad for one, but look how many he had. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many more he's got on here. I'm sure he's got more. So he's got, well, I guess maybe this is the only ones. Okay. But yeah, he's he was just doing this. I mean, you could probably look at these. Look at this. He's early. This guy's emergency end staking. That guy was emergency end staking, guys. Is this recent? Okay, March 4th. March 4th. Okay. He just recently unstaked that one. And recently unstaked this one. Okay. So, yeah, he looks like he's cheating out of everything. And look, yeah. I mean, he was making just tons of money off of all of these. And it reduced him down to where he was making $3,000 instead of $12,000 every 6 months, right? Now, you can agree with that or not agree with it, but it gets people like this out completely. Like, they can't get those T-shirts ever again. And I know, who cares about T-shirts, somebody will say. Well, people that were doing rolling stakes like this really liked T-shirts, right? Because they were just making money hand over fist for literally doing nothing. And every few months, they would just get a whole big old payout, 12 grand.
A single card can change lives. We continue to send a direct message to thousands of homes. See how you can help by going to hexpostcards.com.
Your shit, DJ.
Come on, DJ.
I fucked up the intro.
Lame.
Jesus Christ.
And now I'm in the wrong position. Thank you.
There you are.
all.
Chrispyman, welcome. It's the return of the Chrispyman. Welcome.
Return of the Crispy.
Hello.
Hello, Peter.
All right.
Hey,
So
now.
if you thought this was the Hexo show,
I did think
not.
that for a while. I kind of like forgot.
we
did.
tricked you.
I was like going to sleep. I was like, I
Me
think I
too.
saw this already.
Yeah, I did too.
But
But it's so much better the second time you see it.
yes, and with the music.
Didn't it
like
repeat?
this-
Didn't we watch it twice in the intro?
Let me say it again.
Let me say it again. Yeah. So
And
How's
this
the
guy is
sentiment?
emergency end sticking.
how's the sentiment,
Oh, it looks like
everybody?
we got a Dumperooski. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So
When this started to be a thing, like, what? Every 6 months, someone sells for $12,000. Jesus Christ! It moves the price by 0.0001%.
yes.
Oh,
If only we were still living in
Jesus, that's
2019. Yeah.
I have three theories, like why the OA has done
What's this? What's this, Inglorious Bastards?
live
That
long and
looks like
prosper.
that looks like 4.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, whatever. How many
Live long
thumbs do
and
you have?
prosper. Live long and prosper.
Four.
That's the Chekhov.
Hey, listen, no hand signals. I don't want
Yeah,
anybody-
no gang sign. Easy with the gang
Yeah,
sign.
right.
no QAnon, nothing.
No, I have like three. I watched,
Okay.
for the last 2 weeks, I watched all kinds of streams and read all kinds of tweets and farmed the whole community for ideas on what everybody else thinks, why this is happening. And I came
end is
to
near.
three things. Number one, that Richard is desperate. People are saying this. That
exactly.
like nothing is working, everything is, for years we're not getting it off the ground, so he needs to do drastic moves like that to get us all talking about it, shake everything up. I don't believe that's the case, but that's a theory. So that's one. Number two is, as we saw in the intro, there are a bunch of monthly rolling stakers, but that we also try to debunk a little bit, because last week on the show, you made me look a little bit like an asshole, because I didn't really think
A little
that-
bit.
Just
Yeah, a
last
little
week?
bit.
Was that just last week?
Like,
They let me
Really?
live on the other shows, but last week
Smell
was a bit
like.
terrible, because I also wasn't prepared like that with some backup data, because I thought we wouldn't be in disagreement, number one, on the 38% APY, that Hex is still a good deal. I couldn't imagine we would be in disagreement on this show. And secondly, that there
What are
is
you
no
even
such
talking
thing as monthly rolling stakers, which of course there are. And the thing the morning after the show, I spoke to you, Chrispyman, because Peter was like, I don't see them on the Whale Hex alerts. But obviously, in the intro that we saw
Oh.
today, we've seen it on the Hex Whale alerts. So they are there. And then I asked Chrispyman in the morning, hey, can you produce like from your magic hexfire.io? Everybody go check that website if you are in need for anything statistics. He's got everything up there. Can you pull out like data on how many short-term stakes that are actually in the system? And then we went a bit back and forth over this until you eventually said, hey, it's 2 a.m. here, I'm going to bed, because I was like not conscious of any time zones. For me, I was just getting up and I had my coffee, my what the heck's coffee mug, and
What the heck?
Hey,
and I was all fired up and said, let's nag Chrispyman a little bit. Of course, for you, it was late in the night. So I apologize for that. But you
No,
still.
I was working. I wouldn't answer if I was sleeping.
Yeah, that's your fault for answering. No, but thank you very much. And you came through with a spreadsheet, which Peter looked at and analyzed. And Peter, what did you think? What did you see in that sheet? Nothing, right?
Exactly.
It was like 4,000 addresses on there, which are doing sub 45-day stakes to the tune of
Well, to be honest, I was lazy,
7-8
so I
million.
looked at the top 11, which is 98.87% of all the T-shares.
That's smart. That's sampling, right?
So yeah, and
Yeah,
I looked at those.
you didn't bother to go through the whole 3,900. No, but as you said, 6 months, 12K. That's the chart. The chart should support that kind of sell volume, right? And I kind of agree. I disagree on the fact that it's not happening, because it is happening. It is obviously
but
happening. It's happening
like-
all the time, and it's on your bloody Hex Whale alert. But it shouldn't. We should be able to support the chart. Should be able to support that
DJ, let's say it this
selling of the
way.
interest.
I want to step in right now because
Yes,
I don't know if you follow Rectech Flips.
Yes,
One
of
of the
course.
last
it's my favorite Telegram.
mentions was Hexologist making fun of this 2008 million sell.
Yeah, there was.
So
another one there,
I did a little bit of math. So that 2028 million hex would produce something around 4K a month, which would move the price by 0.015% every month. And the guy decided to sell it all on one day. So at the time when I did the math, this moved the price by 6.6 something percent. So it would take him 11 years to move the price by 6.6%. If he just rolled the stakes, it would take 11 years to move the price by that amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did it.
Oh, you're saying there's a chance then? Got it.
Yeah, but like it's just what if everyone just rolled the stakes and sell the yield? We wouldn't see it on it wouldn't have. We would be at 20 cents. Let's say.
Well,
this way.
I don't know if that's true, but I do obviously listen. The price went down. right? The price
Yeah.
goes down. Some of that's because it's tied to the other assets that go down. That's how it has the value. So somebody's selling, right? Now,
Yeah, somebody's selling it down.
whether it's
But even
rollers,
before PulseChain, like
yeah. Whether it's rollers or liquid stakers,
liquid,
you know,
it's all liquid. It's
Hmm.
just
you can
market.
argue, you can go back and forth. See, we don't even know who the people are that created the bow wave in the first place, right? You know, they're
Correct.
all, well, maybe, but I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't follow his wallets. I don't even bother, right? And so people report different things. They report he has no hex, he has hex, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, we know that if more people sell than buy, the
Yeah.
relative price goes down, right?
That is the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think from a real high level, less rewards going out means less in the hands of people who might sell.
Yes. Yes.
At the
That's
current trend, yes.
the current trend, the way things
Because
are now.
that is one thing to add to this. Like, even if we say those people who are doing those rolling stakes, and again, it's a lot, it's like 4,000 stakers like that on that we saw on that spreadsheet, to the tune of 6, 7, 8 billion hacks. Yeah. But we couldn't see any selling from that. But even if they don't sell, if they just keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling down the river, they are doing that to dump the next top, which
Oh my god! So people want to sell the top,
which
like everyone in crypto.
I know, but do you want to be in another 99%
There
correction
will be.
Well,
next time
we
around,
shouldn't.
if it
I,
can
I
be diminished a little bit by
this is
DOA action?
DeFi, right? We're still in DeFi. We still claim more than DeFi, right? Right? Yeah, right.
We
Right. I
try.
mean,
Yeah.
and
But
so
it's a threat to the
and
chart, is what I'm saying.
well, yeah. But I mean,
In
Hex
future.
is designed the way it was designed,
Yeah.
and I know a lot of people who repeatedly over the last couple of years have been talking about how long stakes don't make sense for them. They do short stakes, and you can see it. You could see it growing. I reported on it week over week that we just had more and more and more being staked short in order to try to take advantage of the top, right? And that's normal kind of crypto behavior, right? So without emotion, it's just normal. People were doing that. They don't want to be locked up. They want to try to sell the top,
Yes.
and now they're not going to get any rewards if they're locked up, and so they won't get extra rewards, and they may still sell the top. They might.
But
I mean, it's DeFi. They may still sell the top. Yeah.
but with emotion, we can say that there are a bunch of people who sold the top, and an honest Hexican, we would think there is a bit of a duty, if you're a whale in the system, to protect the chart, as in, okay, you can sell the top, but please make sure you,
But
at
it's
least
DeFi.
with a
But it's
10% of that,
yeah.
buy
Yeah.
back in at the next low, and
Well,
that's also not happening.
well, this is DeFi, right? So yeah. I mean, my bubble burst too, right? I talked to a lot of people about it because if I was caught up in love everybody community talk early on, and I still am. I mean, I still feel that way, but I'm just a little more jaded in it. But yeah, I would have taken $200,000, $400,000, $500,000 worth of profit instead of restaking in October 22, right? But
Mhm.
I misjudged, and you actually the people who did the selling they just say, "Well, you're naive." But here's the thing: is I did relock all that, and I
They
had
tell
a
you
lot
that
more.
afterwards, not
Yeah.
not as
Well,
we
yeah,
did it.
I
Of
certainly
course.
didn't. I certainly didn't know a number of them were rolling week over week and buying and selling. I didn't understand that but I also wasn't trading, right? So
And
I
in their
was in there.
defense, we could also say
It's
at one
G5.
point they had to buy those bags too. Like,
Yeah,
these millions of hacks
yep.
don't fall out the sky. So, in a way, at some point they had to rush in with some capital, and not everyone bought the first 3 months. After the God whale pumped in April, May of 2020, there was no more cheap hacks.
Yeah.
And so the window to get in like really cheap was very short. There was a matter of maybe 3 weeks where we were around the all-time lows. It was expensive before that and right after it. So, and eventually, if these people are later, they also had to muster up some serious capital to get these
Oh, sure,
bags. And then
sure. This
whatever
is.
they do with that is their,
Listen, hi guys. I don't know. I don't know exactly what points you want to go after, but bigger picture, right?
yeah,
Less
my
less
third point.
rewards, less rewards, right? So it should be easier for to shake people out. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, my third point is so the monthly staking, we can agree it exists, but it may not be the ultimate reason for what has happened. But what may be, and that's my
It's part of
most
it.
valuable theory, which I've first seen from Matty Allen, kudos to him, is that the OA may foresee a series of amount of emergency unstaking happening in the near future because we have now
That
reached a
that's not
point.
news, right? That's not news to you, is it?
Well, I didn't think of it as that because it
Mhm.
is true that
You don't
we've now
watch my
reached the
streams.
halfway.
I know, I
I
know.
do. I do. No, 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 no. I rarely catch you live, but I'm an avid watcher of you. And you mentioned that too. That
That's
when
okay.
people
We'll
reach
give
the
Maddie
half
credit for
time,
this one. Right?
give Matty credit for this one. But half term, when you reach the half of your stake, you get at least your principal back. You lose the interest, especially you
No, no,
lose the
no,
big
no. That's not
payday.
true. Don't say that.
Okay, so
No,
you
don't
don't
say
realize
that.
it.
Don't say you get anything back. People need to go check.
Right?
Need to go
True.
check.
True. Because if it's big payday involved,
That's my opinion. Go check.
that's
Make sure you
changing
understand before you push that
the
button,
scheme.
because too many people now think that they're going to get their principal back if they get to 50%. It's not necessarily true. Not necessarily true. They get penalized for all of the interest that they had
Interest. Yep.
earned up
Yep.
front. It
And all
all
the big
becomes
payday.
and the big payday, which is included. And so, yeah, that can be very painful if you did very well, right?
But again, if it's somebody like that who maybe joined after big payday, millions and millions of hacks, did only 7-year stakes, 8-year stakes, 10-year stakes, and it's now halfway through that,
Yeah, their
and
10 years wouldn't be, but yeah, I got you.
but
I understand what you
Richard,
mean.
I think from the beginning, he has watched what's going on the chain within Hex like a hawk. So he is probably the guy who knows best when
Well,
everybody's shit ends.
so he essentially rigged. I agree with the comment and the idea. I mean, certainly a lot of us have been talking about the emergency end stakes for a long time.
Yeah.
Essentially, he rigged Hex for battle, right? It made it so that whatever happens, good news, bad news, price up, price down, emergency end stakes, no emergency end stakes, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to hurt the system. Right? You may not like the rewards, but it's very hard to hurt the system. About 1/3 of the T shares are short, and out the 30 days, about 1/3 of the T shares are long, Quattro Cinco, and the rest belong to the community and a mixture of the OA and Godwell, right? So it's like a third, a third, a third, just
Right.
roughing.
Right.
So it's there, it's ready to go, and so yeah, I mean, you can come up. I don't know. I mean, we can come up with we've actually talked about this a lot. I mean, outside of here, talk about all sorts of horrible things, right? Like the OA is going to emergency and stake everything. Well,
Oh,
don't think that'll happen, but maybe the people are going to emergency and stake everything. Maybe, but they
no.
really haven't yet. But if they do, but if they do, half of the penalties go to the OA, and 2/3 of the penalties that go to the stakers goes to the OA because they own 2/3 of the stake
That's right.
of the
But with
T-shirts.
just 1.8 hex per T share, the payout on these penalties, if they are massive, is not going to be as juicy as if the OA wouldn't have staked.
Oh, you'd be surprised. Yeah, well, yeah, the payout will be pretty big, but
It's still going to be
yeah,
good, but not
I mean,
like
it's like 33 billion or something. Hex.
yeah.
I mean, and so yeah, what is that? If we do 30, I'll do 33 billion. I'm just making up a number that's close. And
Right.
we do 33 billion It's too many zeros, and divide that by 30 million T-shares. If we have 30 million T-shares at the time, yeah, it'll be 1100 hex per T-share, and yeah, I would like that. I would like that a lot for me personally, but I don't think we're going to see that happen that much. I think we'll see some. It's kind of I actually made a whole new visual just to watch it and track it. You know, to be able to
Okay.
see how many are there and what will happen and what could happen with the people who watch your show and elsewhere. They're gonna
Nobody
just
watches the show.
we're gonna yeah
Nobody
I think
watches the show.
Nobody watches the show.
well, I'm nobody because I watch it, but you know,
Oh.
I think that people who care about Hex are going to be watching this. We just don't know what we're going to do, you know, because it's very real. I I don't think I have one like this, but if I had a stake that would pay me 1 million Hex after emergency unstaking it, and Hex is at all time highs. Do you think I wouldn't consider it? Of course, I'm
Well,
not going to lie to you. I'm going to
that's
consider emergency unstaking.
that's the positive side to this, because
It's positive
if
for everybody except for
the
the
O
price.
thinks people
But
would
yeah,
be so enticed to click that button, we should be at
Yeah.
good prices soon.
Hold on a second. Before we go on to
No
that
financial
stuff.
advice.
No. Hold on a second, DJ. I want to go back to something Chrispyman just said,
Yes.
and that was that the system is now hardened. It's kind of closed all the gaps. It's got an answer to all options, good and bad, that could happen. I would love to see Peter try to throw all of his gloom and doom scenarios to Chrispyman, and Chrispyman would answer as the system what it would do in that case. I'd give it just two of his key concern troll type of things, with Peter saying, of course people will dump it when it gets to this price. So then Chrispyman would say, great, it gets to this price, then this happens. Chrispyman, do you think you could do that for us?
it gets to this price and this happens.
Yeah. Peter, what do you think is going to happen in your darkest, terrible scenario right now? Pick your worst two worry points. I want to see what
I
Chrispyman
don't
is.
have any darkest scenarios. Like, what are you talking
They're
about?
all dark. Just pick one. You're always gloom and doom.
No, I'm not prepared to answer this. Jesus Christ.
Well, I can speak for you, Peter. You don't even have
There
to
we
have
go.
an opinion. I'll just explain how you're wrong.
Okay.
That would make Papa happy, right?
Yes,
Hey,
it would.
listen. I'm thinking about this all the time, and the reality, of course. Though I don't want anybody to think I'm obsessing about it. I'm not. With what's happened with liquidity and the idea that people want to hold on to their hex because it's getting more rare, hex will be extremely volatile. All right, and that means when people do something where they want to acquire hex, it's going to go up way high, and when they dump it, it's going to go down way low.
Mhm.
Anything can happen. Anything with the prices. What do we know about people? Most of us, I'm just going to group us all together, are looking for more value, more money to pull out. Right, this is kind of like a crypto thing. I'm going to sell the top. I want better prices, and so some of us will get really scared and FUD it out and like fumble our bag completely. Right at the next, the price goes to 10 cents and drops to 5 cents and be like, I'm out. I can't possibly handle this because it's another 50% dump. But then there'll be a whole bunch of people that are going to be like, this is going to $1, whatever number they think. $1, 56 cents, $3, and they ain't going to sell it for nothing for a while, right? And so I think what we're going to really see is like all these things are going to be happening at one time, and just like anything else, whichever group of people are kind of like stronger influence over things, that's the direction things will go. And so the price could be anything. It could be 56 cents. It could go to $1. I think we're purely. I think now. I mean, TA is out the window. I think. I know Toby's gonna come on and show us TA, right?
Yes.
But I think TA, as far as price, is all. It doesn't even matter. What's going to happen is that people are going to be reacting emotionally and they're going to have psychological levels instead of TA levels, right? What's the number everybody's worried about? 56 cents. Do we get to 56 cents? That'll be a psych level, right? Some people will have their number down to 10 cents. So maybe there's a big sell off of 40, or maybe we blow through 56 cents. And then $1, pretty obvious, right? Everybody be like, oh, 90 cents will probably be a sell off or something, or we'll blow right through it. And then pick the numbers as you go up. So it could be $5, it could be $10, doesn't matter, right? And people will say, no, it can't happen. It can definitely happen. Come on, there's like less than a billion hex available. And here's the thing: is anybody who decides they're going to do something during the middle of all this turmoil, they take terrible slippage, either to the downside.
Especially now with low liquidity, all these millions of hex.
And it's only going to get
sales.
worse. I took all my hex off the market. I don't want any of it to go. I was in the farm, so so I pulled it out. Right. So there's a couple of million that aren't coming.
I was in the farms.
Well, I wasn't.
Sounds like I was in the gulag.
I was on the farm. Anyways, my point is, guys, is I think as far as price goes, anything can happen. It's up to the community, and it's going to be based on emotion and psychological levels.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. But one thing I cannot fathom is why are we talking about rolling stakes and emergency unstaking? Because this has happened from day one.
Because
prices jumped 20%.
Because
a lot of emergency unstakes. Prices dropped.
But there has been a certain action by the OA, and we always said that the OA is this benevolent shepherd that is only stepping in, like on Big Payday, to protect the hex
Was
thing.
He protecting?
So what is he protecting now? That's what we're trying to suss out.
See, DJ, Peter doesn't watch my streams either.
I don't. I'm honest about it.
I'll catch you on the replay.
Hey, it's okay, Peter. What I was going to say about it is, why does it matter? We may be seeing a complete reshaping of hex. That's why it matters at the moment, because there is that big, huge 3 million-ish T-shares, which is a pretty big part of the T-shares before the OA staked, that are in 29 and 30 over a 6-month period. And there's the potential for those to be completely wiped away. And that changes the future of hex forever, right? Because what it'll mean is anybody who's still in will, of course, get those rewards and all the rest, but their payouts will go up relative to that. And it will change T-share rate and all these other things. So, before this happened, we had this kind of like weird kind of curve, with this big bubble of T-shares that end in 2930. They're still there. And so that, I think that's why it matters. The idea that this might happen, people might do it,
Yes. Okay. But what's the most impactful thing about always staking, what I think, is that the sales pitch has gone away. What's the next thing?
Yeah, that's
the 38% was not true after second year, I would say. So what the hell should we do now? Because in the last 2 or 3 years,
it's harder. Yes.
Yeah. What are we?
All the heavy lifting is done by the community only, and we are doing a bad job, to be honest. So what the hell should we do now?
What the hex?
What the heck? Yeah.
Well, I think the pitch is similar, but yeah, I took the negative approach in my first couple of streams with people, and I played the negative side. Yes, we just changed things. You think about this: if you were somebody who came in and you decided 2 days before you're going to commit $10,000 to go Quattro Cinco, you might be really upset, right? I don't know, right? Maybe not. Because suddenly things change. For those of us who had staking ladders in place, it just means that for the time being, you're getting less going forward. You already got a whole bunch. So what's the sale pitch for new people? Well, for new people, here is a system that doesn't look like it's insane, where you get, meaning not so high that it's ridiculous, right? And I don't think that, but a lot of people think that, right? APY was. But you're basically making a pitch. You lock up for 15 years. You're getting 7% year over year with price appreciation.
maybe price
Right.
appreciation. Maybe.
Maybe. Right. Well,
Maybe
those are the
that's
holes.
big. That's a big risk.
Yeah, those are the holes. Like, this is why I was upset about it. But like, I can't tell, I can't tell anybody. You got to go do some research, man, and figure out if you want to be part of X, because I can't tell you the price is going to go up. We'll look at the past. Well, look what happened. Right. There's more FUD than positive, right? It is 10,000X. And I believe it's going to go up. I believe everything I just told you about price. But then again, maybe somebody's just going to keep selling for 3 years. Don't know. So
Yeah,
you got the price problem, and then you get the other problem you got is now I can't really point to the OA and go, the OA doesn't do stuff. Oh, don't
can
worry,
I
don't worry.
Does
interrupt for a
stuff
moment?
from
The
time
OA
to
is
time,
the
but
OA is not going to stake anymore. Go ahead. Sorry, Papa. I
No,
can't
no,
say
no. I think that since this is mid-show, I I have one thing I wanted to say, and that is, I have a bit of a shill. I seldom shill anything but Trezor, but I wanted to say that I'm really impressed with something that just got released a couple days ago on its maiden voyage. Is Steakhouse. Have you guys checked this out yet?
steakhouse.
Yeah, the guys over at Magic Carpet Ride 369 released Stakehouse, which is kind of a pooled staking mechanism, which is all locked up in the contract. It's been audited, and they don't have any fees associated with it as well. Much like they did a very successful pooled sacrifice for a couple of projects and made good on all their stakers or sacrificers. Now they're bringing that kind of ethic to Steakhouse, and I love the interface. I think it's great. It wasn't a big subscription; it was kind of exclusive. Call this a beta. I was lucky enough to participate in it, a 30-day stake, and I'm going to take a look at the benefits, because you're going to get better APY as a result of it, because you've got that bigger pays better locked in. Of course, these are mice nut numbers now, thanks to the way the OA has done things. But moving forward, if you want to message to people how to optimize their rewards from staking, maybe this is the future. Regardless of what the OA does, you can get a benefit by pooling up your stuff in this contract. Now, there is contract risk, of course, but again, the track record is pretty solid with these guys. So I think it's worth a look-see if you're interested in pooling your staking. Oh, there's Triplet Dad, one of the founders right there in our chat, friend of the show. Awesome.
He's the man. He is the man.
The man.
I think that's a really good option. I also think that HSIs, even though the market may not result in this right now, have just been marked up and provided, meaning they have old yield and old T-share rates, which are going to be very valuable going into the future. And so I wouldn't get rid of any of my HSIs that I have, the Hedron staking instances. And then the other things are the perpetuals, like Maximus and Decimus. Decimus is ridiculously cheap. It's like an instant 50% value. If you take it slow and go buy them, because it's worth, one deci is worth like 1.5 hex, but it's selling for 0.9 hex. And so it's a ridiculously good value.
It's a good value at the moment,
Of course,
yeah.
you're like any of the things, just like we talk about, it's third-party risk of some type, right? Assume everything's going to work, but don't know. So do your own research and be careful what you do.
Now, if you do native staking, can I show you my little pleb presentation that I've prepared for the
A pleb PowerPoint presentation of PPP?
pleb it
I
away.
would not have expected anything less than pleb
Thank you.
or anything more.
So because of last week again, I made a little test stake because I wanted to
It is little on my screen.
find.
Yeah, it is
can
tiny.
you see that? I can enhance a little
Enhance.
bit. So just to make the number easy, I made. Well, this was price of Hex last Friday. Now, of course, it's a bit. You need less dollars to do this. So for 1 year, 100 T shares, right? Which last Friday cost you $12,500. What is the result on that?
What is the
And if you stake this for 1 year, the return is in fact 3.1%. If
nice.
the
Nice.
payout stays at 2 hex per T-shirt, or as it's here, 1.8. Right
Yeah.
now, if you
It's
whack,
maybe better than the bank.
hold on,
It
settle
could be.
down, settle down. Now, if you whack this baby out cuatro cinco,
Whack
just
it out.
just for
Yeah, whack.
shits and giggles,
Whack it out. Let's go.
that would give you 249 T-shirts, right? Same investment for 15 years. If the payout should not change per T-share, that would get you a 7.4% ARR, right?
And what happens if
You
you did full?
double,
Okay, sorry.
sorry, you double your principal if you stake that baby out for Quattro Cinco. And it's true that this number divided by 15 is 7. So that checks out. Sorry, you were saying?
Well, I'd like to point out just a quick thumb rule for everybody. Basically, the APR has been cut by 2/3, right? And so, we were at 21 before. We were close to 8 or 9 or 7 or 8, roughly. It's around 2/3, right? So for a very short stake, and then for a very long stake, it was around 21, 22. So now it's down at 7. And I am curious, did you do a staking ladder and look at what the average is? I think the average would probably be around 5.5%, 5% if you did a full ladder.
I did not. I did something else. But this, even if you fourfold, I know that's not how you can really calculate it, but 7 times 4, 7, 14, 21, 28, that's not even 38. Yeah, it's kaput. But there was the tweet, here comes the savior now, by our good friend from Switzerland, Hodldog, who says,
Ricola.
Ricola, wer hat's erfunden? And he says, we're putting dollars in the mix, right? So this was just hex only. And he's saying you can still make 38% APY on your money with hex if you stake 7 years, more than 7 years, and the price moves from where it's now during that time to 6 cents. Then that's still 38% APY. And this is from Hex Scout, so it has to be true. Sorry, and then I'm done. If the price doesn't change, if it stays where it's today, it's only 11%.
That's a hard copium right there.
How about that? How about that, my friend?
Yeah.
And another note is that the
I don't know if that
11%
was right, but
you think that's too good?
I think it's
on a 8-year stake.
Yeah, but you showed a Quattro Cinco. If the price didn't change, you were showing a Quattro Cinco at 7%. How does an 8-year get you 11 if the price stayed the same? So, but people just understand they're different. Go check it out, right?
But that lets me believe it's still a good deal. This hex thing. And all is not
sure,
lost,
but the price appreciation was always part of the story, and I think that in part, you guys asked like what's the pitch now if you're pitching?
Thank you.
You got the price change, right? The price appreciation was always there, always possible. But I guess my point, and so sometimes like a lot of people like. Crispy, you misunderstand. You still get the 38%. No, you don't. You're not getting the 38%, right? Whatever those combined numbers are different. I'm okay with it. I'm just saying, for people who are thinking this way, they're going to be like, no, come on, you can't like pretend the price makes up for the difference. That it's a new world, and this may not last forever. But let's just say it stays the way it is. Is it truly a really bad situation if somebody came in and they did a staking ladder and we're earning 5% on average across their entire ladder? Then they get price appreciation. Is that a bad thing?
Speaking of bad things, here's Toby.
Yeah, right?
Sounds
I'm a
good.
bad man. I'm a bad man. What's up, Crispy? I
Toby.
missed your face, bro. How you doing?
I miss your face too.
Yeah.
Toby, congratulations on three consecutive shout outs from Somi admiring your mustache.
Oh, really? I saw
Yes.
I saw one. Sami
No,
is
he-
Sami
3
lost
day,
some-
3 days in a row. He's fixated
Wow.
on your mustache. Not so much the goatee that goes with it, nor
It's
the
a
rest
beard,
of the face.
bro. The rest
Just
of it's
the
just so
mustache.
gray it doesn't look like a full beard.
No,
So
no.
God.
He says to zoom in on your mustache, and he's all about your mustache for some reason. There we go. Somi, this is for you.
Can you turn it
I got
upside
some.
down?
I have some kale smoothie in my teeth. I'm
Damn.
back on the health train, babies. I'm trying
Also,
to
also
save my life.
one
in this
one final
Twitter
thought, if I may,
Midwestern market.
before we
Yes.
go into the charts with Toby. This monetary policy that has been put in place by the OA just now can also be reversed. Like the
Oh, yeah.
billion staked from the SAC funds is only a 30-day situation, and the other half with the Quattrocincos, as we worked out 2 weeks ago on the show, that there is some kind of a grace period for the first 90 days of your Quattrocinco where you get penalized, but not as heavy as after the 90 days, right?
Penalized.
I try to avoid being penalized.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not
As a
too happy
rule.
with the penile thing.
As a
Don't drop the
rule, I don't
soap.
want to be penal anything. Penal colony, penalized.
Am I right or wrong? Is that Crispy? You're the expert
Yeah.
on the T-shirt.
I was focused.
system.
I was focused on the penile discussion.
On the beard.
Yeah.
Welcome to What the Hex.
Damn.
What's your question?
Drink your mud drink.
Yes, it can be changed. It could be changed. It could be changed at any time, and 1/3 of those T-shirts could go away, basically, roughly doubling maybe our payouts.
No, I'm saying if he does that, if he was to do that within the first 90 days of his Quattrocinco, him, the African priest, he would not lose the whole stake. Like it would
Oh
be
no,
a
no,
penalty.
no, that's not true. The whole thing goes away, right? If it's a
No.
very short stake, right?
I think it's. Hey,
No,
check
no,
out
no.
the wiki. The wiki
You said this
penalties
in the
page.
chat. Don't you remember 2 weeks ago?
It's
You
it's
were in the
180.
chat
I think it's
It
180
wasn't me.
days.
It wasn't me.
Yes, of course.
I think the tipping points. I think it's 180 days maybe, but the 90-day comes into factor somehow. Do you know what we're talking about with the penalty structure? Like there's some weird thing with like a short stake that you don't get dinged as hard. Like a 3-month stake, if you decide no, I'm out of here, you don't get drilled as hard as if you choose
but
to.
not a quadruple.
That's what
No,
T
I
said.
don't- Toby, I don't think so.
If you're not
Because
long, she doesn't get drilled hard enough. I know.
So
All
the
right, I gotta
Quattrocincos
pull- I
are
gotta
done
pull-
no matter what?
Now I got to pull up the Hex Wiki and walk through it just to make sure we get the scenario exactly correct, right? Because I think what the question you guys were talking about that day was what the heck? I think what you
What
guys
the
were
hell?
talking about is what
Oh,
happens
no.
with the short stake and how much they lose if they merchant unstake it early. And I didn't.
Oh, my,
Sure.
That's nice.
Well-
Google's now blocking that. I guess.
Oh, that-
While you guys are
Hex.
cogitating and looking and calculating, can we affirm or go around the room and just say, I got faith in the African prince or the African priest, right? Not the African prince. The African priest has my full 100% support, and Richard Hart as well, and whatever he does, I'm with it. So I like to see these moves. They may be mysterious right now, but that's because it's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's like the ceremony. Don't look directly at it and let it go and kill all the Nazis. That'd be great. So there you go.
Hey, Deej,
What do
I've
you
got a
guys think?
screen share going with the penalties page. If
Oh yeah, pull it up.
Crispy,
for it.
if Crispy wants to help us understand this.
There you go. Shout out to Duke Booze.
Well, I think you got it, but scroll down to greater than 180 days, if you don't mind.
Surely.
And so where are we now? We're in the less than 50% complete, right?
Right.
Correct.
And so first it's going to say, okay, I'm going to be in the second box over, and let's make sure the math is right. It's going to look at the rewards accumulated so far, right? So that's how much has been rewarded, and multiply it by the committed days, which is Quattrocinco, right?
Mhm.
And so that you're getting like this huge number, right? So it's the total amount by your committed days
Yes.
divided by the days served. which would have been, let's say, 35 days, right? And so it's going to be a very big. It's going to be a very big number,
right?
And so then it's principal minus that, because you're taking all that reward and you're like extrapolating it out all the way quattro cinco, and then you're dividing it by a very, very low.
Okay, so that is pretty drastic then. My understanding was that goes for all stakes. So there's a difference between longer than 180 days and
yeah, this thing's got about
shorter.
7 different paths in it, right? If you got to like.
Yeah, there's like a less than 180. I don't know where I got the 90-day thing. The 90 days, I think, has to do with how they do the calculation.
That's what I had in mind here.
It's kind of like a get out of jail free on the less than 180 days.
Exactly.
Well, that's why even
it's less than 180 crossover point where penalty does not touch principal will always be 90 days. So that's where the 90-day thing came up.
Mm-hmm.
See, DJ, that's why when anybody's talking about emergency unstaking, I tell them, go get more information, do the calculation, and figure it out first before you do it, because I can't even answer offhand most of the time. I got to like think about it, like, well, which situation's this? You know?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that then is quite serious, though. Then that means it can't be reversed as easily then.
No, not the quattro cincos. I mean, you're essentially donating those back, but the 30s will come due, right?
Yeah,
or they could be emergency unstaking. But why would you do that? So.
Yeah, it'd be pretty easy if you just had like one particular stake of that you're talking about, DJ, to run it through this calculation and see what the penalty would be. But, you got to have some real numbers. So you got to figure out, the approximate T-share per day, how many T-shares that particular stake has. If you're anticipating them, possibly emergency unstaking that on day 90, you plug all that in and then you get your answer, and it's not good.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Toby, we should go do this after the stream. So
yeah.
You have 2 minutes for your TA, Toby.
I was
you
just
thinking real numbers, because it's like this is hard.
The low amount of rewards might change what we just said. I haven't thought about it.
Yeah, the interest accumulated times that. Yeah, so right. Yeah, we'd have to plug it in to get like a real example, but it's not going to be good if you're less than 50%. That's for sure. It's just how stringent a penalty is it. But yeah, I would like that if we had like an actual example, like, hey, here's a stake for this many years or this many days at this amount, and it's got this many T-shares. What happens if, right? And then you plug it in here and you show the outcomes. I think that would be very useful for sure.
Nice. So Toby, you're also scouting the social medias, like Papa just said, he believes in Richard hard. I do as well. What is your take on the community sentiment at the moment? Are you seeing
it's crabs in a barrel,
it's
bro.
never been this bad, right?
It's crabs in a barrel. And it's like, and the thing is the barrel is now a very short barrel. It's not even a tall barrel, right? It's like nobody's really made it like, to Valhalla. Like it's like a freaking bedpan, right? It's crabs in a bedpan. That's kind of what's going on.
That's disgusting.
And we're all trying to crawl out of the shit, and then like other guys were like, "No, stay in the shit.
Stay in the shit is awesome.
Like, I want to show how cool I am online."
Yeah.
But yeah,
how did they get there in the first place? I wonder.
They were shat out.
They were. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
It is obvious. We were all shattered.
A little bit more high profile.
All the degens that we are.
Get a super chat from Duke of Boost. Thank you for the $10
in USD. Wow, look out! That's real money.
Chrispyman.
That's maybe our biggest
show,
super chat ever.
Duke.
It's
Duke
big
the
money.
blues, man.
Thank you, Duke.
Highly appreciate it.
But yeah, it's as far as the social climate goes, I think it's. Not to oversimplify with the crabs in the barrel thing, but I think what it is people are upset. It's like they want something to be happening that's not. Their emotions are running high. People are making emotional statements, and logic has left the building. It seems to me like, okay, I get the frustration, but that doesn't mean that what's real isn't real anymore. And I know, like in my reply to Motley's post the other day, and no disparagement with Motley, it's like, he's tried different things, and that's good. Builders going to build, and guys are going to be out there trying different marketing techniques, whatever, and he got shat on a little bit by Richard talking about like the NASCAR stuff. Right. And I think that was apparent in his post. That still stung because imagine it's like you're trying, like if he came out and said, what the heck, what a bunch of stupid assholes. It's like, you guys are wasting your time. You should spend every episode talking about how to make a postcard. we would, I mean, come on, we would all feel a little butthurt about that. So it's like, I get it, right? I get it. It's like they put effort into things that daddy didn't like, and here we are. So, the issue we have with it is that logic. I mean, wait. The logic has left the building, right? The logic has left the building. If they think about it, they're trying to goad, those kind of comments are trying to goad Richard back into streaming. Like somehow that's going to work with a guy like Richard. Number two, and the more important point, he has very good counsel. And I put in my reply to Motley an example I had where I had an attorney helping me through a situation that I was being way too generous in. And he was like, "You're an idiot. Shut your mouth." And I'm like,
Toby, you're an idiot. Shut your mouth.
Right. Exactly. Thank you. I get that every week. So I keep coming back. But yeah. So anyhow, the point being is that
clip that, by the way.
Jesus, if I could get it all out. My God, Crispy, you see what I've gone to? It's like with you and Maddie, at least I could get my point across, maybe, right? It's like this makes it even worse. I mean, I'm a TLDR guy anyhow, and then they just
whoa! Wait a second, you are not a TLDR.
No, TLDR. I mean, like I'm too long didn't read. Like people are not listening because I talk too much. I get it, So I'm trying here, and they make it worse. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, if they thought about it, they would be like, "Oh yeah, that's why he can't or won't stream right now because he doesn't want to stir the pot and let his attorneys cook." And he's not disappeared. He is tweeting all the time, and he has made significant moves, and he's trying stuff. And yet, what we're left to do is speculate. So people are like, "Oh, well, he's discouraging this and he's discouraging that." Maybe. I mean, it seems like it financially. It's discouraging people to do certain behavior.
Toby, but didn't you hear? He's behind P-Dye.
Oh God! Yeah, right. I mean,
and it's all about meme coins. All about meme coins now.
And how many meme coins now? Right? I mean, most is the only one I know that
via the blockchain, man.
Most. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like people are in their feelings. They're spending too much time like upset and attacking one another, whether it's like clout. Like I saw B-Roots like slamming on Motley, and it's like, come on. But I mean, he's like a big time wrestler guy, right? It's like, that's the shtick. Yeah, that's it. It's like to keep it entertaining. People love it. Like my grandpa loved the wrestling and believed it was real. You know what I mean? It's
Toby,
like,
it is real.
Toby, what do you think? What do you think of the unmasking of Rectum saying that I'm taking my ball and taking my friends, and we're going to go in the corner of recess to decide how to burn the school down.
He did that last time too, but without the
burning. He did that exactly last time
without the burning.
But it's like, I mean, maybe I'm trying to like silver lining everything, even that. But it's like, to me, it sounds like the guy is over the social media experience. He hasn't had a good time with it in the past. And it's the ultimate troll. Like, hey, you're worried about me maybe doing this thing? Yeah. Well, now for sure, I'm going to fucking do this thing. Has anybody shown on blockchain, like, since he's made his pivot from the forums to Inc? I don't know.
Why are people even getting wound around the axle on this?
Right.
I mean, just like, the guys get I don't even know. I don't know nothing about the guy. I mean, I don't know what they're doing or not doing.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter.
Yeah. He trolled his way out the door. He did like kind of like the Irish goodbye with a fuck you on the end to everybody. Because, I mean, that's how I'm taking it. Like, you know what? If he was making an earnest effort to try to be a good force or whatever, like share some information he thought was helpful, and then all of a sudden it's like everybody's coming at him sideways, I can see where you would get to that point where you just be like, you know what, fuck all you guys. And, oh, yeah, you're scared of me? Well, now you can be real scared of me. So I'm going to sprinkle this out there and be like, now you can wonder. It's like they're saying
we all own part of the response the community gives you. Right? I mean, so he's responsible as much as anybody else for his interactions.
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm not defending any. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but can we also blame that on the obvious, to me, generational divide that we have in the community?
Yeah, there's that too.
Between all these young people who are just starting out in life, and then us, what they call boomers, even though we're not the boomers.
We're not boomers.
That's funny. That makes me think.
Because we take these things easier, I would say.
We're the Peters. Yep.
Well, we're the elder statesmen, right? It's like, I thought about this earlier, because it's like, if a cycle is 4 years, like what other significant life event is typically 4 years? A college degree. So like if you're in for one cycle, right? Like when you come in, like you're the pleb freshman, like figuring shit out. You're getting pounded by all the the hot chicks if you're lucky, the bullies if you're not so lucky. But if if you make it through that first 4 years and then you go on to like graduate school and you extend your education another 4, like most of us here are at least in our second cycle, maybe third, right? It's like we should be the guys that are more reasonable, right? The guys that are in their first cycle, it's not surprising the behavior that we're
talking. We are talking about rolling stakes and emergency unstaking still after 5 years. So.
Yeah, and it's stupid. It is right. It's like there's. I agree with his confederator that he fed that through. It's like, I feel like it's a non-issue. I really feel like the rolling stakes and people dumping the yield from that's a non-issue. And people talking about it and making it like a bigger thing than it is actually causing more harm than good, personally. It's like, and I'm not saying downplay it.
Yeah, well, psychologically, we run through FUD and FOMO cycles, and there are people that have agendas, and there are people that do things and entities and groups. And I'm not saying any one person's part of it, but it kind of goes with the flow. I mean, the FUD is in jail. Everything's crashing. The Fed has the wallets. You go blah 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 blah. Right? I mean, there's like 10,000 things that could be going on. Right?
Oh yeah,
and then all super negative. None of it's verifiable. It's DeFi. People are going to do what they're going to do, and if you can't fall for it, you have to come to your own conclusions first.
It's Kanye West, bro. It's like it is the worst of social media. It is the worst of reality TV, shock TV, what do you ever want to call it. It's the same stuff in real time, and now we're all characters in it, right? It's not like we're sitting on our couch making fun of the housewives of New York. It's like we are one.
Crispy, it's unverifiable unless you are Rackham and we know all your wallets.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, even with that, to be frank, it's like, personality stuff aside, if the guy, either his money or people he helped get into it, put money in earlier and it's now worth more, the thing I have a problem with anyone is counter trading what you say publicly. That's an issue I have with
100%.
Anybody out there, and there are plenty that we can speculate about that have done this, whether it's the HEX PHEX wars, whether it's this is going up and then they're dumping in the background, promoting it on a stream, and then having V3 positions to basically dump on people's heads while they're promoting it on a stream. I mean, there's all kinds of fucked up things that people have done, and that's all very, very gross. Taking profit's not gross. And that's
correct.
I mean,
that's the hill he's trying to die on. And then people keep being like, well, what about this and this and this? Yeah.
Toby,
so,
the problem is if we know, if you can say that this wallet belongs to this person does the crypto thing wrong. That's why you should be ridiculed. That's the core issue you have. Not the community, because if you dox your wallet, you are the retarded one.
Right.
I'm fucking sorry. It's just,
you're asking for it, basically. Yeah, you're asking for people to be critical of every single move you've made. And quite frankly, as we all know, most traders get wrecked. So here's my thinking, quite frankly, on the moves from RH. If he is trying to dissuade yield farming, which absolutely was a source of dumpage. Most of that probably did not roll back into RH core stuff.
I can agree on that more than with stopping the HEX yield.
Yeah, the HEX was like kind of a secondary, move in a similar direction where it's like, I'm going to reduce the yield that's out there so there's lesser people to sell. I get it. But the deal is like, if that's the move to take the yield away, that's easy to sell because it literally costs you nothing. Then they have to either, if they're trying to increase their position, they need to trade. And like I just said, traders usually get wrecked, right? So, and that's going to be volume for PulseX, which is more buy and burn. So, hey, trade it up, traders. You think you're smarter than everybody else and you want to go out there and trade. I don't care if your bag's $100 or 100 million. Traders typically get wrecked. Yes. So we'll see who guessed right, and only time will tell.
And now, a wonderful segment that we lovingly call
Damn,
What-
my jingle
what-
machine.
The production value is
My
just
jingle
going up.
machine is a
my.
mess today.
So I
TA
had
with,
TA
I
with
thank you all for
No.
my copium hopium speedball leading into this.
StreamYard with DJs.
So hopefully I can get through it unfettered. Unlikely. All right, so we're starting off with Bitcoin, right? The big kid on the block. It is this white ascending channel. It's going all the way back. The most obvious peak is in November, December of 17. In that cycle 2 cycles ago. Then we got our peaks here, boom, boom, in the 21 cycle. And then up here, we've been beating our heads up against the top of this white channel. If we zoom in on this a bit, you can see we're still in this yellow channel that we've been in for quite a while, right smack in the middle.
can you get rid of those idiotic?
I will never move my green arrows.
green
Okay?
arrows?
I want you to bitch about them. I'll move them back a little bit. Okay, so they're just pointing
Thanks.
at boxes.
Thank you.
Does that
You
make
talked
feel
about
better?
yellow
Lets you
channels,
approach
can't
the
see
pawn.
it.
You get a little crowdy.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Jesus Christ on a cracker. All right, so we've got the channel here that it's in bouncing back and forth. I think if it got below 91, I'd be a little concerned that we might, have a little capitulation dump, maybe back to retest these highs around 72,000. That would be black swan stuff, in my opinion. I think everything's going so well with, Doge and, talks of like $5,000 refunds to all the U.S.
Yes, awesome.
citizens. We
Stimulus.
saw what happened with the stimulus checks, and those were only
Doge
$1,200.
stimulus.
The stimulus, right? So we'll see how all that plays out. But I mean, all that's bullish sentiment for crypto, I think, just from living. So this is the measured move I saw on this is like if we break this yellow channel, the full measured move on that gets us up to 120, which is above the white channel, which is what we're going for. What would make sense and be stronger is if we got above the channel, came back and retested it, and then we go. This little yellow diagonal here is the flag pole that started way back in September. If that is the move, and this is a bull flag, then the measured move of that takes us to about 160. I think the overall move is going to be bigger than that, and that's the white vertical, which is the height of the channel. So the full measured move, depending on when we break out, and I'm basing this, as I've said, week after week now, on the 4-year cycle, right? I am holding to my conviction that it's not different this time. Like everyone's like, it's different this time. And so far, it's never been different, right? It's a 4-year cycle and it repeats. So what I'm anticipating is sometime around April, May, we get the breakout on Bitcoin. The full measured move of that breakout from this channel, it's been in 4 years, would get us up around 190K, right? Some over exuberance in the marketplace, which tends to happen. Maybe we hit 240, which I think is Richard's call. I've seen other people call 240, 250, and then we'll see where it could pull back to. And then we start building other structures going into the next bear. But yeah, so that's kind of where I see things happening. I would be watching this closely over the next 2-3 months to into April to see if we can get and stay above. It'd be really nice if we had a little, it'd probably be like a bit of a bull trap initially, where I feel like maybe we'll pop above this line and everyone will be like, holy shit. Because that's the thing with TA, why it's a self-fulfilling prophecy is because everyone can see the same patterns. So they're like, oh, well, everyone's going to sell when it hits the white line, right? So what do? They put sell orders there ahead of it. And then, they front run it. And then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's why it looks like magic sometimes when it plays out. So, but yeah, so I'd be looking for that, look for that breakout. I'd see a little pop up, maybe come back down, even maybe dip back into the channel, which would then be a bear trap. And then we go. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So moving along, Hex, the one and only, the OG, the original, Richard's firstborn son, the beloved HEX. This is its parallel channel, and that's been down and to the right for 4 years instead of up and to the right for 20, like Bitcoin. But, here we are, and we've been grinding along with it, and it's been playing out pretty nicely. We've got this green fractal in the middle there, and it has been playing along with that very nicely. I put that in there from the beginning of January, and we got our little pop up. We dipped a little further down than what the fractal was saying and actually broke through the bottom of the channel temporarily for a few days, came back into the channel, and we were working our way back up. So yeah, it's following the fractal pretty nicely, which is interesting. But again, just to qualify, fractals are like a crystal ball and looking through it to read tarot cards, right? It's like I get TA is woo woo, fractals are extra woo woo. But it's fun, right? When you see them playing out. So I don't put as much faith in that as I do your more basic, straightforward TA, which is channels, right? So we wicked up through the midline of the channel. We worked our way back down. We haven't wicked all the way back down to the bottom of the channel, but that could be the move. Do we, have some sort of event that would push us below it again? Maybe. But I would be looking for support around 00275, and then we work our way back up this bottom edge. Big thing is we got to get through that midline, and then as we get closer to April, that midline actually crosses the white channel. Now, if we break there, like I'm anticipating everything breaking out, now are we going to get our full measured move like that? Are we going to have our all-time high in April? No, because 4-year cycle. I don't believe it's different this time. Our 4-year cycle would be a September all-time high, right? So if Bitcoin's breaking out, though, we're likely to go with it. So that'll probably be the first leg up, and then we'll chop, and then Ethereum will go up, and we'll go up, and we'll chop, and then, then the altcoin run happens typically, right? So if that's the breakout and we get the full measured move of the white channel, again, this may take months to play out, but the measured move of that takes EHEX to around 10 cents. Nice. So as we've said before, with HEX at now
ring
down
the bell, Papa B.
Now down to like 4-1, but it had been around 5-1 with PHEX for quite a while. Combined, if this is 10 cents, theoretically, HEX on PulseChain is going to be 40 to 50 cents. So combined, we'd have an all-time high. Again, I don't think that that's going to be satisfactory for the glory, right? Because there's an asterisk. It's like, yeah, we got all-time high, but it was a combined of the two things, and then you got to explain. Nah, like
it's holding up better than PHEX.
Yes, but the full glory, in my opinion, still is EHEX on its own going back to all-time high. And then do the math. If EHEX goes to 56 cents, just so Richard can get the bragging rights of nothing else, which should be very easy to do with such low liquidity if you think about it. So it could be a blip, but hey, it's in the record books. If that happens and PHEX follows suit and is still 4 to 5x, you're looking at $2.50 to $3 PHEX.
It's holding up better. All the jitters are on PulseChain.
Yeah. True. They like the cheap gas.
Now, HEX on PulseChain, we gotta let Chrispyman do the TA because we have a question here from Fugly Googly.
I am not prepared for you to do that. What do you ask about the question about the
Peter, could you read out the question in your Transylvanian accent?
No.
Please?
Why would I punish the?
Because it's fun.
Come on.
You can also do the Schwarzenegger.
No.
I have a question from Chrispyman. Please, Crispy, you said.
I have a question for Chrispyman, please. Chrispyman, you said you see HEX at $5 this cycle. Are you referring to EHEX or PHEX? And do you believe they could reach parity by next cycle?
Well, they might.
Yeah, this is the SEC agent in the chat. Yes.
Yeah, we might. Yeah, actually, I'm not saying that it's going to be $5. I tried to explain that in the beginning. I think any price is possible based on what the community does, right? But I think that before we might have been held back a little bit, but now the situation is no. I mean, it's just such an opportunity, so it could be $5. Now, as far as what happens with that, current ratio or closer, so 0.2, 0.3, half, it could be at parity. We could actually be witnessing parity occurring right now. But I don't know. I don't know if that's desirable overall does it really have to be the same price? I don't know. And so, but if somebody big enough wants it to happen, it can happen. EHEX has been coming up in price and PHEX has been coming down in price. So it can go to parity and be locked in.
Nice. And the other question for you was, what happened to X's Alive? Did he retire?
No, he's still working.
Yeah, stick around.
Everyone has.
I don't want to dox him, but I mean, I've seen stuff from him recently. Yeah.
The insinuation is if you would slum it to be on our show, right? If you slum it to be on our show, it must only be because Axis is not doing something.
Maybe. Is it, you really take things personally, huh? All right.
Always.
Like I didn't even like I wouldn't
That's
even have
really-
thought that I wouldn't even have thought that had anything to do with the show or you or anything. So maybe
No,
it's,
the
maybe it's because I'm
insinuation is clear.
Papa. You don't figure that
maybe
out yet? It's all about
You-
Papa.
You've
I'm
fallen so far as to be on our show. It
I
has
must
to
be
be a reason.
narcissistic. Well, you know,
Yeah.
I actually, C7's been talking to me about coming on a show, and I didn't do it,
Who?
so I kind of felt bad because I've been, Crypto 7.
Yeah, we're not
Oh,
mentioning him on
my
the
best
show.
friend.
That's persona non
And
grata.
my brother from another mother. No, and, hey, in all seriousness, hey, Crispy, in all seriousness,
I didn't know you were
seriousness,
related.
though, we're
Is
well.
that true?
If you talk to him, tell him, hey, if you want to talk to me and like squash the silly beef, I would be glad to talk to the guy. I feel bad, honestly, like about.
I don't want to talk to
Why
him.
would you do that, Toby?
I don't want to
I
talk
just,
to
you know,
him.
I'm too old for stupid internet beef. You know, I mean, yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even know.
But it's like I'm obviously very upset, and that's
Everyone,
unfortunate.
you can see that Toby one
I
Hexobi
don't-
he's beating up on Crypto 7. He doesn't love your man with the 2 pairs of
There goes the
whatever.
elder statesman. Take the higher road.
Right. Well, he's not an elder statesman, right? He's relatively
No,
new to
he's not.
crypto, so it's like he's, you know, he.
No,
I'm
likes
sorry
to-
I mentioned it. I
No,
didn't
no. I think it's. I think it's good. I mean,
Voldemort.
I've elected myself the head of Hex on Ethereum.
oh,
true.
don't be a bully, dude. Don't be a
True.
bully. It's like I don't know. It's like I think that's an example of emotions, right? Getting the best of someone. He's a great example of that. It's like he very much wears his heart on his sleeve, and he gets very reactive. And it's like, and he's kind of a bellwether in a way for what is going on. But yeah, I just felt that. I just felt that.
I like the energy it brings to a show, and there's some consistency to it. But yeah, I don't agree with everybody. So
I was good with it until the death threat, but you know,
What death threat?
I can't hear this. I don't even hear you.
He threatened me on stream, but whatever. So
Threatened you on stream?
yeah.
I'll go and I'll kiss him to death.
And
You know,
PX.
Crypto 7 loves Toby Wan.
he was gonna
Would love
do
to
me
kill him
great.
with kisses.
He was going to do me great bodily harm. But the point being is that I ended up feeling bad for that because, like, dude, it's like that sucks that he's upset, that he's willing to like go on a live stream and like threaten someone and like it's like, bro,
Yeah,
come
clearly off his
on.
rockers.
It's none of it's that fucking
All
serious.
right, let's continue on.
Anyhow.
Yeah,
Continue on. We only have another hour. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, I got
Get out
coffee.
of here. Come on.
You know, I got the whole day free. I don't have to go to my folks today, so I can hang out with you guys all day long.
All right.
We can slow this right down.
Oh no.
All right, let's go through this one. So this is Hex. This is the new Hex, the new and improved. Someone once said, I
Original.
believe. And not the original Hex. Not the original. Hex.
The
This is,
forked.
like there's like
Only
Hex
one.
Classic and then new Hex. This is new Hex, right?
Fork tag.
So hopefully new Hex
Hex
will have a better
just makes-
outcome than new Coke. But
Like your Coke,
anywho,
yeah.
so here's its channel that we've been playing around with, and it also has a little dip below. It's currently below the bottom of that. If that were to play out, the full measured move, we're going back to all-time lows on PHEX. I don't think that that's happening. I think sentiment's just kind of softened. You know, all this FUD going around, all the infighting and the bullshit certainly isn't helping, people feel more confident about onboarding, injecting more capital themselves, and not selling, right? So like you need all those three things to be happening for the price to be going up. And, that's where I feel like the focus needs to be if we want to see these charts turn around, quit looking for people to blame and get to work. That was my
I
dad's
blame
answer.
you, Toby.
Man, but the rolling stakes, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, the rolling
Yeah,
stakes are
just
killing all of
look
it.
at
So
it.
I capitulate. I give up.
Look at
I
it.
can't beat the rolling
straight
stakes.
down.
Just
I
look at
can't
it.
beat the sell pressure from the whales and the rolling stake. I'm done. Yeah,
terrible.
Just don't buy it, dude. It's like you're highly likely being manipulated on a level that a lot of us could never understand. So I personally feel like, long term, this is still a good investment. I put my money where my mouth is. Do your own research. Don't take financial advice from me, for Christ's sake. But I believe that this is going to play out well in the long run. And time will tell. Either I'm going to be the biggest fucking idiot in the history of Hex, or
nothing.
I got it right. So time will tell. We'll see. But anywho, we're right along the bottom of this channel. We dipped below it a bit. We'll see if it comes back up. I would like to see it above 1.3 cents. That's well within the channel again, or actually at the bottom line of the channel. Then we can maybe start working our way back up. If you zoom in here, you can see these little squiggly guys. These are my EMAs, right? So yellow is the 21 EMA. The purple is the 200 EMA. The teal is the 100 EMA. And the green is the 55 EMA. We're well below all of them right now. So all of those would be little stopping points along the way that we need to cross back to the upside. You can see here where, we had the big dump. I believe this was the Interpol FUD. And that precipitated across of the 21, across the 55, across the 100, and then eventually across the 200. So we got a little pop above the 200, which is nice. And then we're back below it again. So, I would be looking first for this 21 EMA to cross back above the 200. And then if we can get that moving back up, the others will turn slowly northward. And, maybe we can get up here and start combating some of these previous supports and resistances. 1.8 is one, 2.0 is a significant one. It's, anytime you're at a round number, it's psychological support. On up from there, we had significant price activity at 2.3 cents and then further up. So ultimately, we're looking at trying to get back to the all-time high of this particular token, which is around 4.3 cents. If, to leave y'all with a little bit of copium mixture, a little speedball of the two. If we play out the April breakout, as I'm anticipating and hoping for, we should probably chop around this way. Could be that we hit the midline, come back down, bounce off the bottom one more time before we make our move up. I can do like Sami does and actually draw a little thing here. We could be like,
and then go dramatically up.
Talking about production value on the show.
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. So,
okay.
But, so it could be a situation where we're kind of up, try to get it to the midline back, test the bottom again, maybe in March. And then finally we get the breakout that we've all been hoping for. And I'm drawing shit again. Sorry about that. But anywho, the breakout on this, that yellow channel gets us to about 35 cents. So 10 cents on EHEX, 35 cents on this. You're at 44 cents. You're like a whisper away from combined all-time high. And you're obviously, well above the previous all-time high, which is 4.3 cents. You're like almost a 10x from that. So that's possible. Now, once again, if the breakout happens in April, that doesn't mean it's going to be hockey stick straight up. It's not Sami drawings, right? So it's going to probably take time to play out, and it could be a situation where if we're going to do the little drawing again, we could get the breakout here, come back and retest, kind of work our way up, chop, 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 and then
fall back into the channel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then chop.
Yeah, then all the guys with the rolling stakes.
And it's like, and if you look at it, it looks like a sleepy Cocker Spaniel. Let's take his little eyeball right here. It is.
Wow.
See it, little Cocker Spaniel? You didn't even know I could draw.
Take that, Hexy bastard, with your dick pics on the chart.
Yeah, hey, I run a clean show here, gentlemen.
Exactly.
I run a clean show. This is family friendly.
Right.
For an occasional F-bomb. All right, so moving right along. Sorry for the delay. I'm a little over-caffeinated and under-rested. So, all right. So now what is this one? What show is this? Pulse. This is Pulse.
Got 180 people watching. Smash the like.
Hey,
wow. Wow.
Yeah, Crispy, it must be me and you, bro, because it's like early on. I saw
not me.
Like 20.
You and me, bro. Come on, hurry up.
It must be us bringing the alpha. All right, so anywho, so
people just want something to believe in.
Give me something to believe in. All right, so I pulled up this big orange channel because I was just trying to find some sense in the total chart. I couldn't really include like the big blow off tops here at the 2.5 times SAC. So I left those out and kind of went off of this point. There is some, support here with that third day down or that ninth day down, actually. So that could be verification of a top line. Bottom line has more, I'm more confident in that because we got 3 touches. So this big orange channel that's gently been sloping down.
Let's some more.
Now, here's the deal. This is most definitely a real thing channel that we're in. Now, if we rolled out of this channel, obviously, that's not good. And if we were going to go back to the bottom of the broader orange channel, we're getting real close to all-time lows on Pulse. So, something really, really bad would have to happen.
Peter's got something to share on
sure.
what's in that channel right there.
Peter
pointed out.
Do you know what
Peter
I see? Can you zoom in a little bit?
Let me see here. What are we looking at?
Zoom in.
Where do you want me to go?
They're just, yeah.
Juicy.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
Do I see it?
Yeah.
I see a Head and Shoulders. I know that everyone loves Head and Shoulders.
Yes!
Okay.
It's not just me. It's not just me.
It's not.
I wasn't going to say it because it's like everybody loves Head and Shoulders, and they rarely fucking play out. And quite frankly, that is not good, right? Because it's like if we're going to play the Head and Shoulders game, this is basically what you're looking at. Here's your Head and Shoulders, right? This is your left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Measured move of a Head and Shoulders pattern is the height of the pattern. We're right. That before, it's similar to the other. So if we're going to break down from that, what happens? If we break down right there, pretty similar to if we broke down from the channel.
Oh
so,
my God.
So all of that. It's
we're not doing that.
Lose
guys.
a zero.
No, I elect not to.
Come on, Rackham.
Yeah,
we're not doing that.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, I mean, here's something else to consider too. It's like the charts, especially with this type of money involved and people and liquidity being thinner than ever now, are so easy to paint. Like that by people that want to paint them. Like people want to paint a picture on a chart because, like I said before, everyone's seeing the same patterns. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's a Head and Shoulders. That's a super bearish pattern. I better get out of here." And then they see, "Oh my God, it even broke that channel." It's like, "Oh God, get me out of here." And then it's a big fucking bull trap. I'm going to go Sami style again. It's a big fucking bull trap. And everyone's like, "Run, oh God, we're going to die." And then wham. And then we're off into the races.
That's a bear trap.
That right there is a bear trap, right? When you break a pattern down that you think is like going to play out to the full move. And then the bulls are like, "Nope, fuck you idiots. That was a bear trap. Thank you for the cheap coins." And then it goes. So that would be, what I would kind of look to happen there. But if it did break down and it was a sustained breakdown, I would be looking for support down here on the bottom of the channel, which is going to be 4027, which is pretty abysmal, right? And
bad times.
Yeah,
bad.
I'm sorry, 4 zeros and a 3. So not all time low, but 10% off of it. So not great. So anywho, that's what's going on with this. And then if we kind of use the same logic
Hold on,
here,
I'm illustrating the bear trap.
right? Oh, the pig. That's right. That pig.
So the bear enters the hawk thing.
Oh yeah, that they were not playing.
They were. This is very impressive that they chase out the bear.
Oh, they'll rip them up with those freaking dogs.
Yeah,
they're wild pigs.
Look, and he's like, "No thanks."
Oh yeah, hogs are terrible. You ever watch Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
Yeah, scary shit. All right. So let's go back to cursor here. All right. So I got my little check mark over there. Ignore that. So basically, if we're going to work our way up through this yellow channel, which hopefully we can stay within it and resist all the FUD, maybe some people looking at things more logically, this stuff will start to turn around. Same situation, though. We have the EMAs to combat. So we're well below all of them. So we got to get above the 21 EMA, 55, 100, and then hopefully even the 200. Which, there's obviously not as much time frame on this, because it's not been around as long as HEX. So we don't have a long 200 EMA, obviously, because it's not years. So it's very short. For those that don't know, Google it. Midline, you're looking at about 407. And then, similar situation. Hopefully we come off the bottom of this. Maybe we get a little fake out above and then come back down, retest the midline and go. I don't know that we have enough time. If you look at the pattern too, like, top, bottom, like what kind of time frame between tops you're looking at, what is that? 60 days. So if we did that again, and went from here, bottom to bottom, we're well past it. So it's like, I don't think we have time here to go top, bottom, top again. I think the place to look at would be midline. And psychological resistances where we've had support and, buying and selling pressure before, and like tops and bottoms. So, if we get above that midline around 407, I'd see us at least testing the top by April. If we can start making our moves back up that way. Is that 60 days from top to top? Just out of curiosity. It's 50 days. I mean, that's pretty close. So that would make sense to me that we would at least hit the top of the channel sometime in that range. If we get the full measured move of the yellow channel, that's going to take us up to 2.3, which is just shy, or 0.00223, which is just shy of all time high on PLS, right? So that's pretty nice. And then as you can see here, that would actually be a breakout of the broader orange channel. So if you really want some crazy hopium, and this was actually a real thing and plays out, which it may. Again, time will tell. If we get the full measured move of that orange channel and we get that breakout, and let's say, let's measure it from further down. Let's say we kind of maybe do a little bear, like a bull trap, and come back down and then go. Then you're looking at 3 zeros and an 8.
That's delusional.
So that ain't bad.
Be real, come on.
So that ain't bad. That's to me a very, very low expectation for. I mean, that would be an 8. What is that? 8x over SAC. So, yeah,
I'll take it.
You do what you want to do with that. So anyhow, moving on to PulseX. PulseX, we kind of played around with the triangle idea, which I still kind of like. We had the descending orange parallel channel, which, top, bottom, big dump, back up, resistance in it, top, bottom, midline, dump, top, midline, bounce off midline again, trying to work our way to the top, almost wicked up to the top here. So I have confidence in this orange channel being legit. And then we were like, hey, wait a minute, it kind of looks like a triangle, right? So let's do the triangle thing too. Triangles and parallel channels are like peas and carrots. They're very similar the way that they play out. What's interesting about triangles is that as you get closer to the tip of the triangle, typically they break out on average around the 80% mark. So we're approaching that. And oddly, the 80% mark of this triangle is around, you guessed it, April. So I really like when we have confluence and things kind of lining up together. So, and we're actually above the 200 EMA on this one. And we bounced off the 100 EMA twice. So we're trying the next battle is going to be to get above the 55 EMA, which is 4034. Then the 21 EMA, which is going to be around 4036. Then, slowly make our way back to the top of this channel. If we get the breakout and we do the measured move of the triangle, we're going all the way up to 3066. So in that case, you're doing what, a 6.5x, 7x? So again, confluence, because we're looking at about an 8x over SAC for Pulse. Do you think that that's as good as it gets? I don't think so. Nope. I think there's going to be absolute crazy FOMO, capital injections at opportune times from, an unknown entity, perhaps, that will help goose the markets along, and people will flood back in my opinion. So I'm holding strong. Moving right along, last and not least, is Inc, the baby boy of the family, the clown. Everybody loves him. He's cute. He's fuzzy.
The clownfish.
He sings.
Also, the issuance rate of Inc has been further reduced. Just
another almost 10% or a little over 10%.
Just make it 0, Richard.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that people are now enticed to holding more onto it? But no, we see dumping.
Well, I think it's a longer
because it becomes rarer and rarer to get.
Honestly, I think it's a longer conversation, and maybe we can revisit it on another show. But Crispy could absolutely weigh in on this. My experience has been, because it's like I have left my liquidity positions in place, and I was the way I was looking at it is a lot of the stuff was moving together, and I've experienced very little, if any, impermanent loss, and in some cases actually I'm in a better position than before he dropped that. I mean, obviously I'm not getting the yield I was previously, but the boogeyman of impermanent loss did not come a knocking for me yet. And I'm still anticipating pulling my liquidity, because it does seem like maybe I'm taking a chance for mice nut yield. But so far I'm making a little.
I think Richard wants you to pull it.
Well, again, that's speculation on what he's incentivizing, right? It's like he's de-incentivizing certain behaviors to incentivize others. So maybe he'll hear this and slash it again. Sorry, guys. But, I am anticipating pulling the liquidity, but to date I've not, so.
Okay.
But I think there's certain ones that are more risky than others as far as impermanent loss. I'm not trying to say impermanent loss isn't a real thing. It absolutely is. But it depends on your personal investment strategy. If you have some stuff in the stables, maybe that's a plan for you to kind of DCA out right through LP and earn yield at the same time. And it's actually, the stables have the best yield of anything. So, if you have a portion of it in that, as part of your strategy to kind of DCA out as Pulse comes up. Okay. If you're in Pulse Inc and PulseX and Inc, to me, it's like those all kind of move together. It's like it's like flatline for me as far as impermanent loss on that for months, if not over a year. Of course, there's going to be times Inc ran and then my Inc dropped and PulseX was higher, but seems like it always kind of balances. So I don't know. All right, but anyhow, back to Inc. So big parallel channel here. We had this big breakout, this big exuberant breakout, and then we had the death tweet that brought us back down in here. We try to get back above this newly forming budding channel. Played along with the midline here, back to the top again in November of 24, back down in January, and then beginning of February we had a big push up, which was really exciting when everyone thought all these moves were bullish, and that might be around the pump tires launch, if I'm not mistaken. So it's cooled off a bit, but we've only given back 50% of that move. I mean, you can just eyeball it and see it. It's not terrible. And everyone's like, oh God, the sky's falling. It's like, bro, it's like if you go up 2x and drop back 50%, it's like you're still up. So
yeah, but it sucks too.
It sucks. I mean, dude, I get it. I mean, I watch my portfolio fluctuate, and it can be nauseating.
Yeah, it's wild.
So again,
nauseating.
Yes, we're getting to the end, Papa. I know you've got your stool softeners are kicking in. I guess
my stool softeners are kicking in. Come on.
Okay, so anyhow, we're kind of in the throes of the EMA battle here, just below the bottom one here, the 21 EMA. I could see us maybe getting a touch to the bottom. I mean, the trend is your friend, and it's obvious a pretty significant downslope here. I don't think we retrace that far. I mean, you'd be giving back the entire move from the pump tires thing. So I could see this kind of leveling off around in this area. We've got significant activity around the $1.43 mark. So, if we dip below that, then maybe we get back down to the, what is that? I'm sorry, not $1.43, $1.92 mark, around the $2 mark, right? Psychological as well, round numbers, remember. If we do capitulate down to the bottom of the channel, you're back to about $1.45, which we
also pump.tires has been updated with a legal disclaimer now before you enter, and I thought that was quite interesting.
How about a help email? Is there one there?
Yeah, right. Help me. It would be flooded.
Help.
Mostly with nonsense, probably. But anyhow, yeah. So I hope we get our curve to the back to the upside, and then again, I'm looking at April. So if we did get a breakout of April, and this is always a fun one to end on because the numbers get big fast, we'd be looking at a full breakout of that over time to around $21, $22 for Inc. So that would be I don't think anyone would frown on that. For those that didn't dump all their yield that they made in the farms, and for those that held their bags. So that's that one. If Papa wants to, we can look at ETH because I actually got
most.
We can look at most
Fuck
too.
your most.
Fuck your most.
Wow.
Meme corner.
Moist. It's very moist.
Yeah.
I had it. Oh, Papa, you've cursed it. Here it is. It's coming back.
ETH is on the move later.
There it is. All right. So we've got a significant channel on ETH, going all the way back to May of 22. That has played out pretty trustworthily. Is that a word? And I've got a fractal thrown into that one as well. And this is from the last cycle. And this would be showing because if you remember, ETH and Bitcoin double topped, right? Bitcoin, a little history lesson, April of 21, again in, I believe, November of 21, October of 21. Is that right? April, October, and then no, April, November, and then ETH on the first peak. It was a month later, peaked in May, right? So I laid this fractal in, so the time, the months all line up. So basically, it's showing top of the channel, which is really interesting, at around $6,000 ETH in the beginning of May. If we break out and we don't follow the fractal interestingly comes back down to the bottom of the channel in July, which is also where everything pulled back for Bitcoin. In 2021, and then it makes another run, and by November it's back to the top of the channel around 7,300. So that would be a low estimate for me in what ETH is capable of this cycle. I mean, especially if you see Bitcoin hitting 200K, ETH below 10,000 is a slap in the face, right? And I just can't imagine that ratio would get that lopsided. If we get the breakout in April, May, and it follows the previous cycle as far as breakout, the full breakout of this channel actually gets us up to close to $15,000 ETH, which makes more sense to me if we're looking at 150 to 180,000 Bitcoin on that first top.
Yes.
Now you're closer to a 10 to 1, 8 to 1 ratio, or I'm sorry, 12 to 1, 8 to 10 to 1 ratio, something like that. And that seems to me more realistic as far as just what ETH brings as far as value to the ecosystems. Obviously their marketing efforts could improve. Richard's been trying to get Vitalik's attention. And but yeah,
should send some postcards.
In a nutshell, that's it.
And most.
Oh, most. You want to do most? Oh God.
Yes.
Do you
All
have
right.
the
Now when
most
we do
chart?
this,
Super Hex
instead of
does
just gonna see all the other
The
bullshit.
new core.
Super Hex
coin.
does a yeoman's
New
job on
core,
the
oh,
TikTok.
God.
Yes, Super Hex,
All right.
thank you.
Is it
I was.
here?
You like most? You like
I
most?
mostly like most.
I like
Most
most.
is doing great,
So,
man. Most
I know-
is kind of.
I know it's
like
a little off topic, but we have a community within PulseChain called OG Web Chef, and this is where they have these printers that are over there, and they released a token last week. I was lucky enough to get into it called Beast, and it actually pays most rewards, like really high rewards,
Oh,
like
okay.
really high. Yeah, it's pretty cool, like a lot. Like you have
Wait,
to go
I missed that. What is it?
something
There's
called Beast. It's a
Beast.
it's I don't know the technology behind it, so I can't even tell you it's a tax token. But so do your own research. But
Okay, so it's like incognito and like those other.
yeah, sort of. But it pays out a hellacious rate of most. I mean, like
Got
wow.
it.
First 5 days.
Counterparty risk, man. Counterparty risk.
Yes.
Always. Yeah, I'm trying
So
to get
we kind of played around, I guess, a week or so ago and looked at this.
not that pump tires, by the way, isn't third party risk, right? We just assume it's perfect, but
Right,
even though every time one of the pools launches, the people who get it get screwed because the last guy in sells on their head immediately in the same transaction, right? But besides that,
yeah. But I'm not
that's-
moving my core assets onto pump tires to get yield. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking
I
about.
sold
risk. Yeah.
I sold my hex for moist.
Well, you're
Got
up
it.
today.
Moist. That would be
You're
a good
up
one.
today.
I was joking that we should do one a pump tires.
I
coin
am
called
holding.
EBS.
I am holding moist. I just tell you that I got moist.
I'm nice
Moist.
and dry.
I do.
Nice and dry.
Somebody launch that shit, will you? Let's
Right.
get moist out there.
Right. So we played around with this a week or so ago and just like trying to make some sense of like this boom, and then it like held really solid support around the 7 cent mark. And it was like, well, it could be a big bull flag and bull pennant rather. And so we kind of joked around about that a little bit. And, you know, the bull flag of that takes this up to like $100, which would be pretty remarkable. Now, obviously, but then if you kind of take into account like the triangle stuff that I was talking about, it's like not only did it not break out at the 80% mark, which we were like speculating, it went past it and then started to curve up. So, you know, at this juncture, I would probably be looking to see if there's a channel forming, which it could be. Like if we get, you know, if we keep going up, then this channel is going to be different. So there's a couple different channels. This is super speculative because I don't know. Let's do the bearish case first. Let's say that this is kind of it on that. It tops there. You know, do we have some? Yeah, we got some. You know, 3 hits here. Some
It's
resistance.
a bit moist your channel.
Doesn't quite. Yeah. So I mean, really, maybe if we wanted to say this is what's going on, it could be something like this, and then maybe we're close to the top of the channel if this is the channel. Now, let's do an ascending channel. And let's do it in a different color. What is your favorite color? And do that.
Happy little trees.
No, pink.
Happy little trees.
Yeah, happy little trees, right? So we'll get rid of these little FOMO bars here and I put in. All right. So if it is a ascending, let's do an ascending because that's more fun, right? And we kind of use that as a point and see if we've got anything that looks like it might make sense. Yeah, kind of. You know, we got 3 hits on the bottom of this channel, 4 hits if you count the wick down, and then 1 here so far. So this could be an indication of like, you know, maybe we're in an ascending channel now, donk, and then we curve our way up, and then, you know, we're up around 87 cents. And if we, you know, I don't know how this would correlate with the other markets, but it's like if it did do its move in April, and it even got to the top of its channel by April. God, this is long. What I'm doing daily. Let me switch this to 3-day. There we go. Okay. If we get to the top of the channel, you're at $48 in April. right? So I mean that's bonkers talk, but crazier shit has happened in crypto. And if Richard's meme coin, were marching toward $100, that would get a lot of eyeballs on the meme communities around. So
it still would not get listed on Kraken, and he would
No, it wouldn't.
in Coinbase,
That's right.
because it's not. Yeah, I mean DeFi is the enemy of CeFi, and people often forget that, and they try to be a little sycophant for the centralized exchanges out there. And I get it. I mean, you want broader adoption, you want more people to be aware of it. But I think bigger things are like Rabby. Soon having a bridge to
Rabbi wallet.
Oh yes, the Rabbi bridge.
The Rabbi Bridge
coming
I
soon.
think those things, as far as people that are really about DeFi, like not fucking
Kosher.
idiot stool presidente David Portnoy, people that are actually understand the importance of supporting DeFi going forward, including the Trumps, right? I mean, theoretically, we'll see. If they capitulate to the pressures of the centralized exchanges for things to be more favorable to them, and they squash DeFi, which I'm sure they're making an effort to do, or if they read the writing on the wall and understand that they can't stop us, right? So I like the rebel outlook of DeFi.
We did it. We came to the end of the show.
Yeah.
DJ, get us the hell out of here. Chewy.
No, Chrispyman, what is your favorite pizza?
Hex. I don't know.
Hex
What do you
pizza.
mean? No. I do have a favorite pizza right now. Cheese with sauce. That's not the pizza. Pepperoni, onion, and pepperoncinos with a little green,
Nice.
green peppers.
I like
So
that.
it's kind of a different flavor.
I like that. Things to mention: we got the PulseChain tour coming up in Vegas with your captain.
With your captain,
RG3, and
RG3.
Chrispyman. You will
Captain
be
Dreadlocks.
speaking there live on stage, right?
I'll be
March-
smoking and speaking. Yep.
Yeah, smoking the Cohiba cigar.
The Cohiba.
What are you going to talk about? Can you announce that yet? Or
Yeah, I can talk about it. I'm only going to be talking about one thing, Hex.
nice. We like
I'll probably
that. We
probably
support
talk on the side about some other stuff. Hex.
that. Okay, so Hex it is. Get your tickets, guys. March 6th to 9th in Vegas, and you can hang out with Chrispyman in the Cohiba Lounge.
The Cohiba.
And check out his website, hexfire.io. Anything, where can people find you, Chrispyman? Do you want to show
Who just said
your-
it? X-Fire.
Show your isht, hexfire.io, exactly. And that's you on all the socials and the website and on YouTube, right?
Well, except for the fake ones, yeah. That's me.
Oh, you got those too. You get the
Oh, yeah.
imposters. Damn. I haven't reached that level of starting.
I usually find out when I get the PM or the DM with the seed words, and then I'm like, "Why are you sending me seed words?"
Wow.
That's bad.
Yikes.
Also, last thing, there's an election in Germany on Sunday. So if you're watching us from Germany, it's probably the most important election of our lifetime over here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, not so nice, because the party that you don't want to be in charge has slowly crept up
Right hand is rising.
to become the second most popular
From my heart to
party
wait.
in
No.
Germany, and Elon
Wow.
Musk has been shilling them on his X account, which is absolutely crazy. So those guys, they bring in the racism and the anti-Semitism, and it's really scary and disappointing to see this on such a level again in Germany. And all they do is complain. They don't have any actual solutions, but they managed to become second most popular party in Germany.
Is this the guy? Which guy was
Yeah,
the guy that
yeah.
was on the news crying last night? Is he up for election?
That was me.
That was probably, I'm not sure what you mean.
Oh, there was somebody who was talking.
Lots of crying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, never mind. I don't want.
I mean,
I don't want to hold things
hopefully, me being the nauseating optimist that I am, hopefully this
No, they have a
maybe
woman as
some
a
sort of
leader.
centralized view will come into play, because it seems like whenever one party kind of ignores the cries of the masses, then you get some sort of like
Exactly.
polar opposite.
Exactly. And
you know,
there have
uplift.
been many like migration people involved, attacks and knife stabbings. You know, every other week we have something new. But the thing is, we need Germany. We don't have enough people. We need people to come here, but we need them to come here the right way and don't be criminals here. We get enough of that on our own. So, and that's kind of
I say that
the
about
gist
the
of it.
U.S. quite a bit.
But the regular parties are doing that too. So it's not just, you don't need the extreme vote to make that happen.
Are we having a party?
DJ, from history, we know that every few decades, Germans go just, wow.
I know. It's happening again right in front of your eyes, which is absolutely...
Oh, we need this.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it's like, I mean, it seems to me like the party that's not listening to the wishes of the masses typically doesn't change as long as they hold power.
There needs to be
like
a
if they
shakeup.
don't read the writing. I mean, that's why the Democrats have just got mopped. You know, it's like I was a lifelong Democrat until Trump won, like the first one, Trump, the first time he ran. And,
our president, you mean?
And, yes, right. And I made the pivot, and it's like, so it's like it's tough. It's tough. I mean, it might be a situation where you got to get the crazies in there, and then after that, you get the crazies out, and then it comes back to the center. Or you want it to be the pendulum swinging, you know. Just hopefully it won't take like.
It's a strategy, but it's very dangerous.
Very dangerous,
especially when Germany is involved. Like
right.
You know,
propensities.
You know, my grandmother was German.
Yeah. So
you had the chance to end the show. You didn't take it. We're heading on to the second hour.
That's crazy.
Get
We're doing a 2 hour
out
show.
of here, DJ.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Smash the likes, hit the replay, retweet. Thank you so much for watching. We got 211 people right now. We see you guys again.
You said 11?
Next
That's
week. Yes. It's not 9/11, it's 2/11. So. And we're out of here.